A 24-year-old man was shot and killed by Illinois State Police after what they're calling a struggle with an armed man during a domestic call. But the man's family disagrees and said that what happened to their son wasn't necessary force. It was overkill, and it took their son away in a way that no parent should ever have to see. The father of the 20-year-old man said, "My son was shot so many times in the head, we couldn't even view his body." Imagine being told your child is gone and then being told you can't even see him one last time because of what was done to his face. That's not just a loss, that's trauma on top of trauma. They executed my son. You send your child out into the world, and the people who are supposed to keep order send them back in a box. Surveillance video from the night the man's son was killed showed him walking down the street, then being grabbed by the police. You see one officer grab him from behind while he's holding a gun, and a second officer comes in and fire multiple shots. The video doesn't show him firing the weapon in his hands, but it does show how fast it goes from a struggle to shots ringing out over and over again. The 24-year-old man family says, "We stuck in a familiar position that black families know too well, watching edited clips, reading phrases like officer involved shooting, investigators talking about protocol, all while we're just trying to understand why he had to die like that." While the family of the 24-year-old man is in shock and grieving, the Illinois State Police Department said the 24-year-old man was already on electronic monitoring, and he was charged in February with aggravated assault and use of a deadly weapon, and that he had been ordered to give up his firearm identification card and his gun, even though he hadn't gone to trial yet and hadn't been convicted of anything. Now hear me out. If he haven't been convicted of anything, there's really no reason to push that type of information out to the public unless you're trying to damage his credibility. So when people hear his name, the first thing they think about is the trouble he's been in. Instead of seeing him as a victim, they see him as somebody who probably bought that on himself. And let's be real, this ain't nothing new. Police do this all the time. Anytime somebody is a victim of the police, they make sure they criminalize them in the eyes of the public. They build a whole story around the worst moments of your life. And they do it so well that when people reading about what happened to you, they don't even care how many times they shot you. Yes, a gun was recovered at the scene. But since when does having a gun or a gun case give an officer the right to blow your head off in the middle of the street?